So I've started to read a book called The Devil's Delusion, Atheism and Its Scientific Pretensions by David Berlinski, a secular Jew. He basically, partially sees it my way. I agree with him about pretty much everything I've read so far, and the back and the inner side. And I'm going to read for you. Um, Let me just read this part. Um, Basically, atheism is pseudo-scientific Satanism. Well, we'll get to that in a moment. Militant atheism is on the rise. Richard Dawkins, Sam Harris, Daniel Dennett, and Christopher Hitchens have dominated bestsellers lists with books denigrating religious belief as dangerous foolishness. And these authors are merely the leading edge of a far larger movement, one that now includes much of the scientific community. The attack on traditional religious thought, writes David Berlinski in The Devil's Delusion, marks the consolidation in our time of science as the single system of belief in which rational men and women might place their faith, and if not their faith, then certainly their devotion. A secular Jew, Berlinski nonetheless delivers a biting defense of religious thought, and an acclaimed author who has spent his career writing about mathematics and the sciences, he turns the scientific community's cherished skepticism back on itself, daring to ask and answer some rather embarrassing questions. And this part's good. Pay close attention. This part, I mean, it's very. I did not read this book before. You would think that I have, because the questions he asks are the key points I've been making to attack atheism for quite a few years now. Has anyone provided a proof of God's inexistence? Not even close. Has quantum cosmology explained the emergence of the universe or why it is here? Not even close. Have the sciences explained why our universe seems to be fine-tuned to allow for the existence of life? Not even close. Are physicists and biologists willing to believe in anything so long as it is not religious thought? Close enough. Has rationalism in moral thought provided us with an understanding of what is good, what is right, and what is moral? Not close enough. Exactly. Fucking exactly. Has secularism in the terrible 20th century been a force for good? Not even close to being close. So when you ask the right questions about atheism, my goodness. And you got to see, this is what kills me about this. They have the nerve to attack religion. And the part I came across, let's see if I can find this part. I was reading about this. Here we go. He puts a list of things, right? A shockingly happy picture by excess deaths. First World War, 15 million. Russian Civil War, 9 million. Soviet Union, Stalin's regime, 20 million. These are deaths. Second World War, 55 million, and so on. And he talks about how, I think it was Himmler or Hess, he started destroying the churches toward the end of the war. And he talks about how the people that history thinks of as Christians were behaving in a way that is more atheistic. The same point that I've made. I mean, it is just, it's the thing is that I can make these points, and because I only have a bachelor's degree and I'm a relatively young man, I'm a middle-aged man, a lot of people won't take me serious. What does this black guy know about it, right? But then when this quote-unquote learned Jew says the same things I've been saying, in his own words, now these pussies are forced to take it seriously, now aren't they? Now, I'd go as far as to say there's two groups of atheists. One are people who are intellectually dishonest, who are part of a greater secret society network, and therefore they have complexes associated with that. The other group has a different complex, one that they resent religion, whether they're gay or they're feminist or they're just bitter at religious people. They don't want to conform to morality. The one thing you should really conform to a more moral lifestyles, and doctrines of moral conviction and spiritual conviction, religious conviction. These different groups of people and their complexes, and they're ignorant. They're ignorant people with complexes, and there's people who are educated, who are part of a greater conspiracy. I don't think I've ever even come across anybody in all my research into atheism that I would consider intellectual and uncontrolled opposition. It just simply doesn't exist. You know, even famous people like Che Guevara, right? You know, pretty respectable guy. He had a complex. You know, his complex was associated with his not wanting to conform to the morality in the Bible. Now, he had a lot of morality that was in common with the morality in the Bible, but ultimately he did not want to conform to it. And so he believed in communism and the Communist Manifesto, which has a lot of ideas that contradict and conflict with religion. So, you know, these people are wrong to say religion is the opiate of the masses. Ironically, atheism is the opiate of the masses, and they drugged the people before the Khmer Rouge started killing them, before Stalin started killing them. And you see a lot of these, you know, wars that kill people. And there's a lot of godless heathens fight. Every war is listed. A shockingly happy picture by excess deaths. Every single war that's listed is full of ulterior motives, individual selfishness, group selfishness. I mean, there isn't a single one. I'll just pick one randomly. Greek Civil War, you know, Romania, Sudan, 55 to 72, Iraq. I mean, all this has to do with a lack of religious conviction, a lack of moral conviction. That's why these people died. These are fake Christians killing people. These are fake Muslims killing people. These are open, you know, atheists, people who declare themselves as atheists, killing people. You know? I disagree with some of his numbers, but no matter how he slices it, he has Mao and Stalin as the biggest killers, and these are atheists. Now, atheists have cried little bitch shit like, you know, they'll say things, they have a double standard. They'll say, well, not all atheists are communists. But they don't want to admit that not all Christians are fake Christian murderers who are behaving like atheists. As if there is no God. And atheists do not offer, you know, let me go back to this question. I'm going to leave it here. You know, has rationalism in moral thought provided us with an understanding of what is good, what is right, and what is moral? Not close enough. You know, their secular humanism, you know, they don't understand what is good. You know, religion has given us a higher purpose. Divine reasoning, if you will. Telling us why this is right, why this is wrong. You know, with atheism, even if you come to the conclusion that you should treat people, you know, in a decent way, you haven't defined why it is decent. You haven't rationally defined why is it decent and why you should do it. And it leaves the door open to, well, if I choose not to do it, no one's going to punish me anyway. Thank you.